Welcome back, TMI. Here I am again, out in our beautiful nature. Well, guess what? When you sit back and think you know how the day is going to begin, life has a way of telling you, no, that's not how it is. That's why I say I live a flawed life because God gave me this life, so I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to sit back and be all piss and moany about it. It is what it is. So, like I said, welcome to Flawed. Each and every day, I try to break down each one of the letters in Flawed. Today, I'm going with the L-A-W, law. What exactly is the law that I'm speaking of? And mine is actually letting autism win. Oh, the past 48 hours, how do I describe it? Well, it's been an interesting roller coaster ride. Let me give you a little background. My youngest son, almost 21, thank you, God, thank you, God. But with that same gratitude and thanks, the one thing that they don't tell you about is that you really don't know what to expect with an adult with autism. First of all, you don't even really know what to expect with autism. Autism spectrum disorder basically means any and nothing. What I mean of that is that you can line up 10, hell, you can line up 100 individuals on the spectrum and will not find any two alike. So, reflecting back on my life with my son, with his early diagnosis, a lot of mistakes were made. I listened to a lot of people, but because I was coming from a coming from a nursing background, I thought, hey, these are the caregivers, these are the doctors, they know what's going on. Sadly, unfortunately, I listened to a great deal. You know something, I think if I would have had an opportunity and chance to have done it any differently, I probably would make the same mistakes because they are supposed to know more. Drugs were given, and I call it drugs because at this particular time of looking back and reflecting, it wasn't really medication. He was not being medicated. It did not help to make him better. All it did was sedate my son. And now I have this man that for up until he hit 18, all I was doing was giving them medication, and the medication calmed him. I'm not gonna say it soothed him, but all it did was just made him manageable. So now he's combative, he's argumentative, very rude, very disrespectful. He's 6 foot, he's about 250 plus pounds, and I'm telling him what to do? Ha ha ha. So, with all of that being said and done, we're learning and figuring it out ourselves because a lot of the medications of the past has altered him physically, emotionally, and I will even say psychologically. So it makes it difficult when I go out. The one thing, I do have a friend has a son that's Down syndrome. I said the difference between my walk and her walk is that when my son and I have an episode out in public, people look and go, "Oh my God, here, what's going?" Well, first as a little kid, you know, rude little brat, spoiled. Everyone who may be a special need parent knows the words. So you listen to all these words that people are throwing out in the public, and you feel a certain way to a point that you just say, something, we're staying in. So I end up letting him rule the household. you know no one can come over, no one can do anything. It was what it was, like that. So now here we are, that he feels like he is disfigured. There's no other way I can sit back and say he's disfigured. And when we go out in public, it draws more attention. And he loves anime. He's a gifted artist. Oh my gosh, that's something else they don't tell you about autism. Kids tend to pick up a certain little niche, and if they pick up the niche, oh my goodness. But he doesn't want to go to any schools or anything. He doesn't even like to ever hear the word autism. So it makes it really difficult, which is interesting. I love to rock the shirts and all the different things, but he hates anything that has to do with the words because he doesn't want to be labeled, which I understand that. No one wants to be labeled. but I do have to acknowledge that he is what he is. So this past weekend, we had a lovely lunch date Saturday. I'm thinking it's all good, fine and dandy. We ate, we hee, we ha ha, we were good. On the way home, he wanted a video game. I was like, oh, well, let me check into it. Check into it? How dare you check into it? I've told you about this. You should have already had it done. So now we're off to the races. So here I am frantically. Now I'm driving around trying to find this game. Thank God, went to GameStop, found the game, purchased the game. So in my head, ha ha ha, good mom, I'm feeling like, okay, we're good now. We can go home, relax. When he plays his video games, mom has to sit beside him. So don't ask me about anything video games because I am that chick that knows these video games. So I'm sitting there with him as he's doing the video game, and he's still starting to melt down. He's melting down because he's looking at the dogs. How come they're not groomed? How come they're not this? And it just seemed like we spiraled. Then you fast forward to Sunday. He gets up, he's slamming things, he's throwing things. Then he starts saying, I shouldn't live. I need to die. I need to die. So now I have to go into mama bear mode. I have to hide all the sharp, knives, can openers, anything that has a point, I have to hide. And this is my life. This is my routine. This is what I do. That's why when people sat back and said, do you miss working? And I was a nurse. So therefore I said, no, I don't. I'm doing what I am made for, not what I was paid for. So I was always doing something in a medical profession, making others feel good. If I cannot make what's under my own roof feel good, I'm doing a disservice. So I'm there with him, making him feel better. And it just got to a point last night. He was just, you're fat, you're lazy, you don't do anything, you're good for nothing, just all of this. But in the midst of all of this woosah, I'm telling myself, this is not my son. This is the disorder. And I know a lot of parents out there that hear this, you break down to your core, and trust me, I have broken down many a times, sitting back thinking, this man does not love me. God, please help me. And God will not ever give you more than you can handle. It's a challenge, true enough. But I love my son. I thank God for my son. If it wasn't for him in my life, like I said, I'm a wild spirit. And we're going to get into a lot of things because a lot of what I do as a woman does not reflect what I am as a mother. I'm a Virgo, should have been a Gemini, because people have a difficult time understanding the two things do not have to intersect. I am a mom first when I am a mom. But trust me, you can get it for that woman as well. But this is about my son. So right now, I'm taking this quick time to breathe, compose myself, run out, get him something to eat, because sometimes I have to kind of step outside of the danger zone, because sometimes when he sees me, that is a trigger. I have to kind of play and figure it out. There's certain days that, mommy, and yes, he becomes this little toddler. It's like, how could I not love this man? He becomes this, please protect me, mommy. And then I have to be that mom. But then there's these other times that he sit back and that I have to sit back, step out, take care of him, and then pray so extra hard that when I walk through the doorsteps, that I have that loving, he doesn't have to be the mommy, but at least I'll have the loving young man. So with all of that being said and done, don't sit back and think that I'm complaining. Every parent of an autistic youth or adult have to sit back and understand, you have to pray this off your spirit. You have to. So I want to give a quick shout out to Alexis, April, Alma, David, and Beth. We're all in this struggle. We are all dealing with our special people. And even if someone would have opened a book on this, I guarantee we never ever would have fallen on a page that resembles where our lives are today. So God bless each one of you in the struggle. Like I said, lives happen. So this is, I'm hearing the sirens. Guess I have to go. That means my time is up. Love you guys. See you next time.